pulling. Oscar was pulling the strings in Barcelona. What was it? 4 La Liga crowns back in his playing days? Not bad.
I would say so, Phil. Yeah, both combative, refined, smart players. And by the way, that vantage point, I've had a few red cards in my career. You wish you could be there as a head coach all the time, because the vintage, from that position versus field level, Phil, you can see so many more things. It's amazing.
Wait. You're not telling me you got red cards on purpose just for a better view, are you?
No, I won't. Although the shrimp cocktail at the Crafts in New England was pretty darn good.
Slotted forward, near side, Fouquet. The Belgian trying to win a corner, but Ganagay had forced him wide.
Brilliant. Going down, not making contact, let the ball run out of bounds. If the cross comes, you can block it, Phil. Picture perfect.
By the way, the big towering redhead on the side is Will Still. Belgian, who is a co-assistant manager with Ruben Martinez on this team. How much does that affect a team on the field with the manager not on the sideline? I guess number one, you don't need earplugs. Well, going over to the left flank now. Inside for Kasama. Opie wide. Good fake by Cabal. Dangerous into the 6, but cut out at the pass by Keylor Navas.
Yeah, well done, Navas. What a good cut there by I was going to say same thing. Cabal has been great, Phil. Left and right, serving this ball with his right foot through traffic. Navas does well by initially holding his line. You never know if there's going to be a touch, and then come hard.
23-year-old midfielder.
For a game here and there, going back to your question, Phil, not a big deal. You do your prep really throughout the week as a head coach. And the assistants is very much aligned with you. So if you have to coach a lot during 90 minutes, it means you haven't done your work during the week.
Touched wide by Munetsi. Buku, double teamed. Cuts to the inside, trying to draw contact. Referee had a good view, maybe a little too tricky for his own good. Actually had the move made, but then lost his footing. Neymar, who's done that a few times in his past. Poked across, finds Diallo, who can't find Di Maria.
Yeah, that's a tough ball. There you see Neymar with that spin move, using the bottom of both feet to do the 360 feel, which is not an easy skill when you're on the dribble. And then Diallo, just poor choice. Di Maria is making that run to draw somebody with him. That ball needs to get served in the box.
Well, we have probably, 6-7 minutes left, counting added time. It was Fouquet. Nice ball across the 18. Cabal couldn't find an opening. Now at the top, lifted in, looking for El Bilal Touré. A little poke to the corner, and it kisses off the post. Oh, what a goal that would have been.
Audacious, Phil. Half chip, half toe poke. They're able to keep this ball alive. Poor over Zibai. Easily game. And ooh, it's a little inside of the foot curler.
Moreta Kasama.
Yes. And touches the upper V. Under the reach of Navas. And you're right, Phil. At 1-0, they're hanging around.
Well, Touré, this just his second appearance of the season. He's been a bit of a handful. Cabal and Buku. And there we saw Kasama. PSG would like to get a little bit more breathing room, but at what point does Pochettino bring in Messi? Ball stripped away. There are a lot of questions. Ball inside, cleared away by Gravillon. Why Messi wasn't in the starting lineup? And there's two types of reasons. Number one, it's different watching on TV. It's different in practice. Give him a chance to see his teammates from the sideline. Another, again, just to bleed him in away from home. But there's also, I guess, I don't want to say it's a matter of respect, but to give him that opportunity to draw attention when he does enter. So at what point does Messi enter?
It's dictated really by the medical staff, the head coach, and the player himself. And I think we've seen introductions of players right away. Marquinhos a great example. Di Maria got a little bit of a run initially in the last game, now becomes a starter. Verratti came in straight away without being a sub. So I think it depends on where these players are. And, you know, a lot of times a little bit of a hunch as well. And I'm sure Poch will sit with Messi for the next, or prior to this game, and really discusses what do you think? And I think this is probably the right choice. New league, on the road, get a little taste later on.
Cutting to the inside, Di Maria. Fouquet stays with him. Di Maria gets it back. Tries to dish it wide. Cabal playing some defense. Look wide for the youngster. Upended by Verratti. And the foul calls, and the fans want more. Neymar trying to calm the Marseille-born midfielder down. And Verratti will get at least a talking to from Francois Letechier. It looks like he's saying the cleats were a little high, and the card coming out. The fans get their blood.
Might not be happy about it, but that's a 100% card, Phil. Regardless where the boots are, it's from behind, leaves his feet, and makes contact with the player without playing the ball. Mbaape afterwards just hits with the ball as well, but I think that's a yellow card at fans anywhere in the world.
Again, if you're hitting directly from behind, could be a different color, but you never see that anymore.
I think the Poch is happy though with the proactive, aggressive pressing of PSG. That includes your midfield three, obviously, Verratti being one of them.
Bring something up here. Maybe we'll get the answer in the second half. But as much as PSG is 3 wins and 3 tries, ball across for Mbaape, has help left and right. Trying to return it, Di Maria. Their opener was against newly promoted Troyes, who actually scored first and forced a comeback and almost tied it down the stretch. Second match, their home opener, they did win 4-2 against Strasbourg, but that was 3-2 with Strasbourg pushing until a late counter by Sarabia. Last week against Stade Brestois, another 4-2 game that was much closer than the scoreline. Ball flipped up and touched over by Rajkovic. And here against Stade de Reims, a mid-level team, PSG holding on to a 1-goal lead. So they could be on track for 4 straight wins, but it's not as though everything's going perfectly.
No, it's not, Phil. It shows you the strength of this league. They didn't win it last year. So they got something to prove, and it's been tough throughout. 5
in the area. This one well defended, and just shy of 1 minute added. Monsieur Letechier brings this one to a close. First half in the books. Messi has not written his name in yet, but Kylian Mbaape has for the 2nd straight game. Stade de Reims 0, PSG 1 at the break.
Et voilà, the double up. Oh.
I'm working.
Cuando preparo el sándwich de pollo de Kentucky Fried Chicken, la gente me pregunta qué opino de los lugares de hamburguesas que venden pollo frito. Yo les digo que ese no es asunto mío, así como no es asunto de ellos hacer pollo frito. ¿Qué esperas? Prueba el sándwich de KFC por solo $3.99.
Ganar el premio de camioneta del año de Motor Trend por 3 años consecutivos nunca antes había sucedido. Lo que tampoco había sucedido antes es una pantalla táctil de 12 pulgadas ni 1000 libras-pie de torque. O que una camioneta fuera premiada como automóvil de lujo del año. Eso nunca antes había sucedido. Ram es lo que hacemos. Obtén $3,550 de valor total, más 90 días sin pagos mensuales al financiar la Ram 1500 2021.
La increíble fragancia de Old Spice Dynasty te ayuda a levantarte del sofá. Te pone tras el volante.
La meta de Boost Mobile es darte más poder. Y ahora te damos más poder sobre tu salud. Boost es la única compañía móvil en darte acceso gratis a un médico en directo las 24 horas desde tu teléfono. Cámbiate y recibe gratis un Samsung Galaxy A32 5G, solo en la red 5G más grande y más rápida del país. Eso es tener poder. Más poder para mantenerte sano. Boost Mobile.
Et voilà, the double up. Oh.
I'm working.
Esto es lo que tenemos para ti. Las mejores ligas y torneos del planeta. Los mejores jugadores y equipos. Y mucho más. Esto es EA Sports Extra en español. Contenido premium. Totalmente gratis. 24/7.
Este atleta no necesita de introducciones. Sencillamente es el mejor futbolista de todos los tiempos. Lo único que debes saber es que seguirá jugando aquí cada fin de semana, durante todo el año. La estrella más grande para la escuadra más potente. Ve a Lionel Messi y al resto del Paris Saint-Germain en la Ligue 1. En exclusiva por beIN Sports en español.
Está ganando el Paris Saint-Germain con el tanto de Kylian Mbaape en esta primera parte en la que han tenido muchísimo el balón, pero están sobrando las ocasiones, ¿no?
Sí, lo que pasa es que me parece que está faltando en realidad las ocasiones, porque genera mucho, hasta 3/4 de cancha, pero después se encuentra con una defensa súper poblada. Es un equipo que el gol de Mbappé le quitó las pocas esperanzas al Reims. Era una cuestión de tiempo, ¿no? Todo el talento de un lado contra las ganas y la lucha del otro. Mbappé jugando hoy de centro delantero. Si se queda, está claro que va a jugar en esa posición. Por ende, lo de Icardi le pongo puntos suspensivos, porque con Mbappé, con Neymar, con Messi, mirá el movimiento ¿no? El centro de Di María es fantástico, Carmen.
Sí, de 10.
Pero el movimiento, la diagonal previa al cabezazo de Mbappé, es lo que lo hace un jugador impredecible. ¿Por qué se mete entre los dos centrales?
Y la imagen de Leo Messi en el banquillo, recordando que está de suplente, esperamos que haga su debut el día de hoy cuando celebraba el tanto de Mbappé. Y luego al final, estos últimos minutos, el peligro que iba a crear el Reims y las dos ocasiones en las que Keylor Navas termina salvando su portería.
Sí, en esta, fíjate que en la segunda parece que Keylor la toca, en realidad termina tocando en el ángulo la pelota. La única esperanza, y te lo digo, la única esperanza que tiene el Reims es el número 20. Ese chico que va, que es cuando agarra la pelota, es fantástico. El resto es una cuestión de tiempo cuando caiga el segundo, el tercero, el cuarto gol.
Ya ha hecho también el debut de Neymar en esta temporada. A espera, obviamente, Pablo, de lo que ocurra en la segunda parte. Sí. Y si tendrá o no minutos.
¡Que juegue Messi, decilo!
Lionel Messi, que juegue Messi, es lo que queremos ver. Hacemos una pausa y ya regresamos con más.
Si Mark Mr. Cartoon Machado no hubiera tenido el espíritu luchador para proyectar su pasión, nunca habría perfeccionado su legendario estilo callejero. Eso es el espíritu luchador. Eso es lo que hace a un león. Modelo, elaborada para aquellos con un espíritu luchador.
En Internet se veía más grande. Algún día encontraremos el viaje perfecto.
Algún día es hoy con Travelocity. Encuentra la información que necesitas para reservar con confianza. Travelocity. Algún día es hoy.
Un hamburger Happy Meal, por favor. Mejor 2. 3.
¡No, pickles!
Gracias.
Siempre nos has acompañado y queremos que nos sigas acompañando. Con My McDonald's Rewards, ahora cada orden viene con puntos canjeables por McDonald's gratis.
No sé a dónde llegaré y si lo vas a entender. Quiero estar en tu camino siempre y a tu lado aprender.
Sigue tu camino con Napa y llegarás más lejos. En agosto recibe $20 de reembolso por correo al comprar cualquier batería Napa para tu auto. Lógralo con Napa, pura calidad.
Si Mark Mr. Cartoon Machado no hubiera tenido el espíritu luchador para proyectar su pasión, nunca habría perfeccionado su legendario estilo callejero. Eso es el espíritu luchador. Eso es lo que hace a un león. Modelo, elaborada para aquellos con un espíritu luchador.
Entra al juego con beIN Sports Connect. Disfruta lo mejor como la League On, Copa Libertadores, Copa Sudamericana, la Super League de Turquía, deportes de motores y mucho más. En cualquier lado, a cualquier hora, en tu PC, tableta, teléfono inteligente o cualquier otro dispositivo compatible. Descarga ya la aplicación beIN Sports Connect. Enciende el juego. Las semifinales de la Copa Sudamericana están aquí en beIN Sports en español. Los equipos más importantes del torneo se enfrentan para lograr un cupo en la gran final. Bragantino, Peñarol, Atlético Paranaense, Libertad. Un torneo extraordinario. 2 partidos excitantes. No hay vuelta atrás. Las semifinales de la Copa Sudamericana, solo por beIN Sports.
El PSG le gana a Reims por la mínima. El día de hoy los ojos están puestos en Messi, que está de suplente en el banquillo esperando que debute, pero también en Mbappé, que de momento es quien ha marcado el gol. ¿Y en qué va a ocurrir con su futuro? Antes, en profundidad, analizamos justamente el gol y desde dónde parte la jugada.
Fíjate que Mbappé está en la posición de número 9, la jugada arranca por la izquierda con un Neymar sin posición habitual, pero atentos al brazo derecho de Di María cuando recibe la pelota. Ahí.
La señal.
¿Ves que le hace la señal? Claro. Anda a buscarla al centro. Después la diagonal de Mbappé es fantástica porque se mete entre los dos centrales. El cabezazo es preciso porque el giro de la cabeza de Mbappé le da más velocidad a la pelota. Muchas veces cuando vos cabeceás una pelota, si no le das bien, le quitas la fuerza. Pero él al contrario, él le da más fuerza, descoloca al arquero y marca el único gol del partido. La verdad que es una jugada fantástica, es una prueba más de todo lo que tiene este PSG. Porque tiene talento, tiene velocidad, tiene cambio de ritmo, pero también tiene paciencia, porque se siente mejor que los rivales.
Segundo gol de Mbappé en lo que va de esta temporada, tiene además 2 asistencias. Por ahora están ganándole al Reims con ese tanto de Mbappé. Veremos qué ocurre en la segunda parte, lo tenemos enseguida, ya volvemos.
Tu vida está llena de sabor, igual que tu modelo chelada. Auténtica cerveza mexicana con un twist vibrante y refrescante. Modelo Chelada, el sabor del espíritu luchador, ahora en piña picante.
Cuando preparo el sándwich de pollo de Kentucky Fried Chicken, la gente me pregunta qué opino de los lugares de hamburguesas que venden pollo frito. Yo les digo que ese no es asunto mío, así como no es asunto de ellos hacer pollo frito. ¿Qué esperas? Prueba el sándwich de KFC por solo $3.99.
La increíble fragancia de Old Spice Dynasty te ayuda a levantarte del sofá. Te pone tras el volante.
Tu vida está llena de sabor, igual que tu modelo chelada. Auténtica cerveza mexicana con un twist vibrante y refrescante. Modelo chelada, el sabor del espíritu luchador. Ahora en piña picante.
La escuadra más potente, con las estrellas más brillantes. Ve al PSG en vivo. Solo por beIN Sports en español. Cuando se inicia el rumbo, se transitan muchos caminos. No únicamente se alcanza la gloria cuando se llega al final. Cuando nos sobreponemos a cada uno de los obstáculos del sendero, es donde está el verdadero éxito. Palmeiras, Flamengo, Atlético Mineiro, Barcelona. El camino rumbo a la gloria eterna. Más cerca que nunca. Las semifinales de la Copa Libertadores están aquí. Solo por beIN Sports en español.
Y tras finalizado el partido, y como todos los domingos, no se pueden perder Ligue 1 Live Show a partir de las 4:45 p.m. hora del este, con el repaso de toda esta jornada número 4 ya completada, que de momento únicamente le resta la segunda parte del duelo entre el Reims y el PSG, que de momento con el tanto de Kylian Mbappé están ganando por la mínima, a espera del día histórico, el día en el que Messi pueda debutar en la Ligue 1. Vamos con ellos.
Muchos dicen que estamos en la línea de salida. Y es precisamente donde queremos estar. Porque J.D. Power nos ha nombrado la marca número 1 en calidad inicial y experiencia de manejo. Un premio de J.D. Power es un premio en potencia. Somos la hermandad del poder y estamos de vuelta en marcha.
Las Chromebooks son diferentes porque tienen el botón para todo, para que encuentres lo que quieres, desde archivos y aplicaciones hasta respuestas en línea, instantáneamente. Las Chromebooks tienen protección antivirus interna, así que no más de esto. Y mucha tranquilidad. Si estás listo para hacer switch a lo rápido, lo fácil y lo seguro, no solo cambies de laptop. Haz switch a una nueva manera de vivir una laptop. Haz switch a Chromebook.
Una hamburger ketchup extra, sin pickles.
Mejor con pickles extra. Y 3 hamburger Happy Meals.
¡No pickles!
Siempre nos has acompañado y queremos que nos sigas acompañando. Con My McDonald's Rewards, ahora cada orden viene con puntos canjeables por McDonald's gratis.
Aquí tienen. ¡No! ¡Se me cayó!
Algún día, cuando esté más grande, reservaremos el viaje perfecto.
Algún día es hoy con Travelocity. Encuentra rápido el viaje perfecto con sencillos filtros de búsqueda. Travelocity. Algún día es hoy.
Ils sont dans le couloir, je commence. Nous commençons tous ensemble, s'il vous plaît, la séance d'applaudissements pour accueillir les joueurs. Ça commence! deux changements. La sortie numéro 23, completo. Kasama, remplacé par le numéro 28, Fantuzi, Loco. Et le second changement, la sortie du numéro...
There you see a couple of changes, and Kasama, who almost had a goal of the season, will have to watch the rest of this from the bench. Mbaape and Neymar both on the sideline. Looks like Neymar putting on an undershirt. Mentioned the temperature was right around 60 at kickoff here, about halfway between Paris and the Belgian border. We're not at winter yet, but fall is falling, and Neymar is feeling it. And there you see the other change. Velan Berisha, the veteran midfielder, hard-nosed. I think, Thomas, you could translate that one no matter what language you speak.
That was my Thomas Roman impression when I played, and I looked at somebody, I always went like, let's get stuck in.
That was Mama Rangan. That's the way she told you to get out the front door.
And pretty much what my gestures were towards my team prior to a game.
Ball rolling, and PSG with it in blue, defending the goal towards the left, defending the lead that was set at the 15-minute mark by Kylian Mbappe on the brilliant cross by Angel Di Maria. The red and white of Stade de Reims, well, right now they're still in this with more than a puncher's chance. The red and whites maybe had more chances than PSG in the first half, but 4 of them denied by an offside flag. Bill Shane alongside Thomas Rangan. And Thomas, the world waiting for the PSG debut of Lionel Messi, but PSG and Pochettino have to stay focused.
Without a doubt, Phil. 1-0 game. Yes, they've been dominant in possession. Yes, in shots, but not on target. Only 2. 1 a goal. Obviously, the header by Mbappe. And you're right, early on, this becomes important. Be the aggressor, make the adjustments in your front 3 and your midfielders a little bit. And move the ball faster and be more clinical in the final third. Those are the words from Poch to his team.
Mbappe. Neymar has slid to that center channel, although we saw quite a bit of Mbappe there as well. Strong run by Wijnaldum, but unrewarded. So some of the changes Pochettino has rang in will get a report card. Chipped in Diallo, nice by Mbappe, settled by Neymar, dropped to Ganagay. Again, that long-range shot proven to be a powerful one, but this one blocked, and now up the other way comes Stade de Reims.
Great starting position by Gay again, Phil, sniffing out that second ball, as Andres Herrera did so well in the first 3 games that he started, being able to strike balls from distance.
Taken away. Hakimi looking for a foul, none coming. The pass wide. El Bilal realized he would have been offside. Cabal stopped his run, and PSG off the hook. Already a couple of changes as we remind you of the players on the pitch right now. Of note, the Ivorian Islam Konan also back healthy and available. But Berisha and Loco, the first 2 off the bench.
Yeah, Berisha is important to keep balance in midfield next to Onetsi, was really left stranded in 2v1 situation against Verratti and Wijnaldum.
Trying to keep it alive, Neymar, as he heads out wide. Trying to chip it in, deflected. Lopi. Dangerous ball. Fouquet pulls it out of the fire. And down it goes again. At the moment, at least, probably by design from Oscar. Stade de Reims just wanting to make sure PSG doesn't get a cheap goal early in the second. Berisha spent some time at Red Bull Salzburg before moving on to Lazio. Born in Malmo, but a Kosovo international. Taken away and down the line, Lopi, the Senegalese teenager, inside, dummied through by El Bilal, but no one there on the run. And PSG a bit fortunate.
And Diallo does well to fill the riding Toure, and then even better work by Diallo on that weak side, where they got punished last week a few times, Phil, with late runners to balance it out.
Interesting as they've pulled Mbuku, the 19-year-old French midfielder, and stuck Loco in. Loco more of an outside back, so it's the hint of a more traditional four-back now, and a little bit more cover on that Hakimi side of the field.
Great point, Phil. That's where the changes were made. Absolutely. That's where the goal comes from as well. So Garcia's looking at where they were vulnerable defensively. And also with Loco, the 19-year-old, he adds some real speed coming from deep positions. Similar traits as Mbuku, but a little stronger, more direct.
Back comes Mbaape. Smart play by Berisha, but poked away. It'll be a PSG throw near midfield. Again, temperature just above 60 at the Auguste Delon. Beautiful stadium, about 85 miles northeast of Paris. Now a touch to the inside. El Bilal holds his run, takes the shot, blocked by a sliding Verratti.
Well done reading that Verratti.
Stripped away on a poor pass by Wijnaldum. Lopi sweeps it across. Caval, good ball, swinging it wide. Get to the middle, glancing header on the doorstep. Navas with the block, but the rebound slammed home. We're tied at 1. Relentless pressure from Reims finally pays off with a goal.
And we've talked about the vulnerability of PSG. It's in the air, it's centrally, and Navas makes the initial great saves but gets tucked away.
Munetsi with the final touch. VAR will look at it, but I didn't see anything wrong. Keylor Navas's pride probably bruised more than his body. Take another look here. Oh! Well, no, this one initially to Toure. Now, where was Munetsi at the time Toure puts his header in? I think this one's coming back. I think PSG might be saved by VAR.
So Toure with the initial header, Phil, who's not offsides. But Munetsi is on the initial cross.
And at the time of the shot.
Absolutely.
Marquinhos scrambling back just in case. And that sloppy center of the defense by PSG cost them, but will it count? It appeared at the point where it hit El Bilal's head that Munetsi was advanced too far. And right now, Francois Letessier is awaiting word from the booth.
Great ball in, Phil. Aggressive attacking of central areas again. There's that ball in. Di Maria just cannot get a piece of that one. And then the floater.
Now, where was Marquinhos' boot? Again, we're looking at it from an angle. They do have the computers to try and straighten out those lines. Where was Marquinhos' boot? Where was Munetsi? It was close. We'll see if we can find another look, but again, we're waiting for word from the VAR booth. Donnarumma on the bench. And even if it doesn't count, that impenetrability of the Navas goal takes another blow.
There's several factors, Phil, that we have to look at, obviously. Initially, when the ball gets served in, who's offsides, who's onsides. Toure, who heads the initial ball is onside. Munetsi, I think, is offsides, Phil. Does he interfere with the goalkeeper? And then on the rebound, he scores. I think that should be taken back.
Let's see. Replay says offside. We'll see if we can get a freeze frame and that a computer-assisted line. But Keylor Navas and the porous PSG defense saved on video review. So back to the salt mines for Reims, or the stomping press.
Yeah, it's a great example where PSG is vulnerable, Phil. Di Maria can't get with the overlapping right-sided player, which is his defensive responsibility. Tries to get there, so the ball gets played in without any contact. And then again, Diallo and Marquinhos, poor in their starting positions, even poorer in trying to win that first ball. And Toure finds the seam.
There, the foul by Diallo that puts him in the book. Joining Verratti, the only two cautions of the game. Beautiful stadium. And you can sense the fans right on top. A decade ago, they threw 60 million in, and it looks like they got their money's worth.
Yep. I used to go through that city when my parents would take me to southern France for vacation once a year for 2 weeks.
Pick up a few bottles of bubbly on the way.
There you go. Well, I was 12.
I was talking about Mom, but hey, if you could do it, go right ahead. By the way, this stadium, back in the 1938 World Cup, actually was one of the host sites for the Magic Magyars, where they knocked off the Dutch East Indies 6-0. Little more recent, the Women's World Cup in 2019, the U.S. women played here. Round of 16 game, they beat Spain 2-1, but it was also that controversial 13-0 victory over Thailand.
Oh, I remember that one, Phil. Also, that city, who's not just put in the map. You talked about some great history, but this particular game with Messi potentially playing became a focal point for the last 3 or 4 days. And always a focal point also during the Tour de France.
Stade de Reims back in the top flight, looking like they're not going to be a threat to go down. Or some of those teams you imagine would be in danger of going down actually find themselves towards the top of the table. That's Liga for you. Neymar double teamed and then bounces out the other side. Bit of a foot race for the Brazilian, who's not quite in game shape. Trying to hold on Mbaape, but nice work by the Belgian Fas. Lopi pops up on Abdelhamid. Back to Rajkovic. El Bilal kept it in. Almost sneaks it through. Not bad by the 19-year-old. And the round might be a sign of what is to come. The PSG fans in the corner, and even the Reims fans with their phones in their hand. Kind of have a feeling Twitter and Instagram are about to get a huge, massive insert of texts from this part of France.
Oscar Garcia's 2 changes have made a difference, Phil. They're on the front foot. They're pressing right now with good numbers. And it really forces PSG in a tough spot by not being able to play out of pressure and have to go direct, as Navas does here.
Long ball forward and Fas over Mbaape. Fas trying to keep pace with Kylian, but needed a better service. That time, not so sharp from Di Maria. So you talked about the change in shape, but how is that stymieing and frustrating Paris?
It's more of a look, a true front runner, and Toure, El Bilal Toure is higher up the pitch right now, Phil, which means they're going to play with some more risk and not dropping their numbers in their defensive third very quickly and often. And I think that suits them well, because PSG initially always wants to build through a lot of stations. and don't look necessarily to go behind that back four, which holds the higher line, or back five a little bit more than they did in the first half. So there's space to be had behind there for Mbappe.
Talked about 2019, where France got a couple of back-to-back wins against the PSG Giants. Of course, that was the year they finished in Europe. In fact, almost finished in the Champions League spots, but with a limited roster. Last season, they were actually down near the relegation zone for much of the campaign until a second-half push got them into the safe spots. Mbappe held by Wout Faes.
Yeah, like
might go in the book here.
Yeah, without a doubt. Turned the corner again. Mbappe get pulled in his shoulder. Faes might get away with murder a little bit, Phil, because that's a 100% yellow card. Again, with acceleration, turning the corner, getting away from people, getting away from most midfielders or defenders, for that matter.
That doesn't tell you about the personalities of the three. Neymar calmly surveying, Di Maria nervously touching the ball, and Verratti arguing with the referee.
It's just the part, you got a right and a lefty around the ball, Phil. What are they up to? An in-swinger or a bit of an outswinger with Di Maria?
Di Maria will take it again, curls it, but doesn't get it high enough. Lopi gets rid of it. Hakimi back in the middle. Fouquet tries to clear. Beautiful touch by Cabal, and it leads to a foul. Verratti again on the receiving end of the whistle.
Then Verratti, there's always contact. Unnecessarily this particular time. Ball is bouncing. They got good numbers there. They can win that second or third ball. No need to foul and give Reims the opportunity to get their lines up and get organized. There's the flick, and
he's a fun player to watch.
Without a doubt. And that's obstruction by Verratti, not allowing somebody to penetrate into an area. Smart professional foul. Not necessary at this stage.
Well, still awaiting Lionel Messi's arrival. Of course, Pochettino quite familiar. Back before most people were there, you take a look at that computer angle, as I mentioned. And actually, I'm kind of wondering, it might have been just that brief moment, because I think as the ball came through off the head, Marquinhos stuck his leg out, but the point of impact had already passed. So PSG fortunate this one's not tied. I was going to say, Pochettino actually at Newell's right about the time Messi joined as a youngster. Nice little tuck to the inside. Cabal finds some space. Wide for El Bilal Touré. Has his dancing shoes on. Back for Cabal. Oh, might not have been meant for him. The shot comes through from Lopi, and he still causes problems. I think that was intended for the slashing Berisha.
Yeah, either or, Phil. You go there with pace, and it actually comes off Marquinhos. It falls for Navas, but that could have been, you're right, a ball that can be met by a hard run centrally. The deflection doesn't make it happen.
Loco, El Bilal. Pochettino might not like this, but France is getting on the front foot here. Gravillon, the Guadeloupe international, wide. Cabal, and he'll retreat. Getting back to the Pochettino-Messi connection. Probably going back to your days at Ajax, Thomas. Ball swept into the middle. When you're working your way through onto the first team, you're hearing stories of those 5- and 6-year-old kids. Oh, you got to see this one. And Messi's one that came true.
Without a doubt, Phil. Those clubs. There is the cheddar throughout the club of first team, but also young players.
Nice outlet ball, and it's Hakimi with space. Faes coming over. Hakimi to the back post, wide open run. Kylian Mbappe. He stayed onside, and he strikes the bullseye. A brace for Mbappe. PSG doubles its lead.
And that's the danger. And also, I'm not saying this is done by design, Phil, but if you're Pochettino and you look at always pressing, said, let's drop a little bit and let's go in the counter. Hakimi, your right fullback, streaking forward. Neymar trailing. And that, by the way, is probably just onside. But what a good ball by Hakimi. And a great fade away, tucking away with his left foot. His first goal with his head. This goal, what he normally does, Phil, as you said, he has only scored one in his career as a header. Good finish by Mbaape, who's been, by the way, pretty darn good through 4 games for PSG.
And a beautiful ball through, but don't discount the pass from Idrissa Gana Gueye, who sent Hakimi off to the races.
Yeah, and that's that double-edged sword, you know. Oscar Garcia said, we're going for it. We're down 1-0. We make 2 changes. We be more proactive. I know that's a risk with a lot of space behind us. And Mbaape scores.
And here the buzz as Lionel Messi steps to midfield. He would have stepped in if it was a 1-goal game, but now they have some cushion. This is a day I don't think anyone imagined. 520 games, 474 goals at the top flight for Barcelona in La Liga play, and now about ready to make his Liga debut. Oh, will it be for Neymar?
That would make sense, Phil. Neymar's first start. Do you want to push him 90 minutes? Probably not. Injuries are important.
I think Neymar may be coming to welcome him. Ander Herrera also on the sideline. Wijnaldum had exited waiting the substitution, but then they're going to have to wait a bit longer. Frustration showing on the face of El Bilal Touré. Reims was pushing forward looking for an equalizer. Instead, now it's a 2-goal mountain.
And Neymar comes off, it looks like, and that's probably the smart decision. As much as we want to see those 2 guys with Mbaape together, not going to happen, but here he is.
The Parisians in the corner waving their banners, and everyone, even in the Reims fan sections, realizing something historic just happened. What this also does is allow the Parisian fans to see the Messi-Neymar reunion when they play in their next match, welcoming Clermont after the international break. Just speaking of Clermont, tiny team had never sniffed the top flight. Was top of the table after the Liga openers, and they are still undefeated 4 rounds in.
They're the surprise package. Pascal Gastien, what a good job he's done, Phil. Second in scoring after PSG.
Tucked across. Kind of thought Herrera would come in for Verratti, but that's not the case. Long ball, looking for Messi, tipped into the air, and Rajkovic brings it down. Goal in the 16th minute from Kylian Mbaape on the Di Maria cross. And then Gana Gueye finds Hakimi, who threads the needle to find Mbaape at the back post just after the hour mark. And a player down behind the play. Is that Munetsi?
Even for Messi, simple ball. But to get yourself a little bit into this game in his new environment, never thought I would see him in a different jersey than a Barcelona jersey, but here he is.
And there's the outlet.
And that makes him so dangerous, Phil. Not knowing if that was done with intent, because I think Oscar Garcia pushed his team a little bit forward. Done the break with the speed of Mbaape, the great passes out of midfield. And your right fullback with the final pass. Brilliant counter.
Leonardo and El Khalifi, the brain trust and bank account of this PSG side, enjoying it. While everyone in the front row, I'm not sure if they were just tweeting to let everyone know where they were there or looking at the replay. By the way, Ander Herrera with a very similar assist earlier this season. So a wealth of riches, not just on the front line, but in the midfield for Pochettino.
Yeah. And going by Pochettino, now comes the hard and the fun part, Phil. Putting it all together, not just on paper, but in real time. And we're living it right now in real time.
Neymar and Wijnaldum out. Messi and Herrera in. Still some talent available on both benches. Again, with that window looming on the 31st from a PSG perspective, will they keep the youngsters like a Bimbe and Wingup? Will they send them out for seasoning? Is there room for a Paredes or a Draxler or Icardi? Near side, Hakimi. I think that's the one interesting point.
Another interesting point. I'm looking at a number 10 jersey, Phil. Which, by the way, is off the field because it's Neymar. The 30 is also something we have to get used to. There he is.
And maybe a 50 in between the pipes before too long. Stripped away. Here comes Caval. Diallo reaches out and brings him down.
Yeah, Cabal has been very good throughout. Great in the turn, getting away from people, drawing fouls in critical areas as well.
Van Bergen checking in for Stade de France. The Dutchman will step right into the midfield. Ex-Vitesse Arnhem and Heerenveen man. And Dion Lopi, the teenager from Senegal, will exit. A little bit more of an attacking option now that they need 2 goals.
Yeah, it certainly is, Phil.
Glance down. Abdelhamid, no problem for Navas.
No problem for Navas, but still the inability of PSG. And that one doesn't just fall down to the 2 center backs because there are other people that are in there as well. To not win that first ball, Phil, that is a concern.
Diallo. Kind of wonder, for the most part, he's done well out there, but there have been a few concerns. When Kurzawa comes back, will he get it? And then again, the long injured Juan Bernat would probably be the man, but you can't count on him with the extent of his injury. So maybe not a perfect PSG 1-11. Should make things interesting. Offside? Nope. Foul called.
Throw in. Poor ball being played back to Kerr, who just couldn't keep it in bounds, but Di Maria and Reims with the ball.
And Oscar learning a bit the hard way, sticking your neck out. And it drops back. Spaniard has helped provide some cover, allowing Hakimi to be even more adventurous. Marquinhos. Slight deflection, winning it back. Poked across by Toure. Shot by Cabal, deflected.